everyone, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me today to learn about Algolia's e-commerce integrations and how you can use them to quickly get set up with Algolia on your storefronts. On the agenda today is really just two topics. So I'll start off by first talking about the general landscape of e-commerce and then actually spend the vast majority of the time showing you how you can get set up end-to-end with our newest connector made for BigCommerce. Before we jump into it, just a quick introduction to myself. I'm Peter, and I'm the product manager for our Shopify and BigCommerce integrations. As you probably know, there are a ton of e-commerce platforms out there, and all these have similar features, but also a lot of them tailor to different use cases, requirements, and technical needs as well. Like I previously mentioned, I manage the Shopify and BigCommerce integrations, but Algolia actually supports a lot more than just those two platforms. We actually supply, we actually officially support 5 of these top 5 platforms. And what's great is that we've taken everything that we've learned working with thousands of merchants over the years to package all those learnings into these ready to use connectors that can help you get set up extremely quickly and even build upon as well if you need it. All of this is to say, use our connectors to really speed up your development timelines and simplify things for yourself and or your clients as well. We'd really love to hear which platforms you're using. We're always curious to see what our customers are using, what's growing in popularity as well. So drop the name of your platform in the chat and let's see which ones are the most popular amongst everyone here today. For our demo today, we'll be taking a look at our BigCommerce integration. We'll do everything from scratch and show you how you can get a fully functioning setup working within under 15 minutes. So for today's demo, I've gone ahead and created 2 very basic stores, both using the default products and the default template from BigCommerce. So there's no additional styling applied just yet. I just want to show how easy it is to set up Algolia before we worry about all of that. So if we take a look at this one here, kitchenwares from the home, this one already has Algolia actually all set up with autocomplete, instant search, and recommend as well. This store uses a cornerstone theme, and the products are ranging from books to other home furniture products and appliances, for example. So if I go up here and I click search, and let's say I look for caddy, you can see the results start populating right away. So that's a great experience to offer your customers. This is actually powered by our Algolia's autocomplete. And if I hit enter, once I go to the results page, I can see that this right here is actually already powered by Algolia's instant search library as well. And how I know that is, I'll show you in a second what it looks like without Algolia added, but what we can see is that we have all the filters, additional search functionality that you would want to offer your customers so that they can quickly narrow down the search results and find what they're looking for. One more thing that I want to call out is on this homepage, I've actually also added the trending items carousel here. And that's actually powered by Algolia Recommend. I'll show you how to quickly add that. It's super simple. It's a widget that you can drag and drop using BigCommerce's theme editor. So contrast that with the second demo store that I've set up here. This store doesn't have Algolia added yet. When I hit search, I notice that the search bar is actually a little smaller. So right then it kind of it's a bit of a giveaway that the two search experiences are different. If I type in caddy once again, you'll notice that it took quite a bit of time before it starts showing any results. Not a great customer experience. That couple of seconds was already enough for me to start wondering if search was working. So if I hit enter and I go to the results page, this is what I'm talking about when I say the instant search UI that we provide out of the box with our app is a lot better than what's provided by BigCommerce's out of the box results page. I see 2 items here, but there's not really much for me to work with if, say, there were thousands of products and I needed to filter down the results some more. So let's see how we can get this store to use Algolia just like the first one in about 10 to 15 minutes of time. The first step to do this is navigate into your BigCommerce admin shop. Go to apps on the left-hand side. Go to their marketplace. Look for Algolia. And there's actually only one Algolia app on their App Store, and that's the officially supported one. So go ahead and click Get This App, log in again, and then click Install. Agree to the app permissions. So I'm already logged in. So once I click login, it should already authenticate me. But if you're not, or you don't have an account yet, once you click this button, you'll see a pop-up come up that will walk you through the process to sign up or log in. Okay. So the first step that we'll have to take care of is choosing an application to start with. For the purpose of this demo, I've already gone ahead and created one called DevBit 2024. Okay, and because I have a demo store, I only have one channel associated. So go ahead and select that. And then we'll be presented with a few configuration options. The first one is the index name. I'm going to leave it as a default BigCommerce name just because it makes it super easy to find after when I'm going through all the other indices that I have on this same application. And then for record type, there's two ways to look at it. There's product level indexing and variant level indexing. Um, if you usually show every single variant of an item as its own product, you'll want to go ahead and create an Algolia record for every single variant as well. Whereas if you sell by grouping variants into their overarching product, you want to pick product level. For me, because this is a demo store and my demo products don't have any variants, I'm just going to leave it as product level indexing. Currency wise, my store also only deals with US dollars, so I'll leave that as is. This last question around success thresholds is a bit odd at a glance, but it's important to consider since this step is what tells Algolia every time that it does a full reindex, what percentage of records must be successfully indexed and updated before it can count as a success and actually either create the index or update the record, all the records in the index. So let's say you set it to 80% and you had 100 records. If only 50% of your records went through correctly, then we actually won't update your index and we'll show an error and you'll have to go in and fix this instead. A very common reason why your records won't index is actually because of product descriptions being way too large. So if you're ever having issues with indexing, running into problems with this success threshold, I suggest you start there. And with that, we can go ahead and click save. Okay, we're all good with that. So let's fire off our first indexing operation. Cool. So behind the scenes, it's actually running a indexing operation for all of your products at the moment. And how you can keep tabs on that is by clicking reindexes here. So we see that the status is created. We'll need to wait for that to get to a finished state before we can actually test out our search experience. But while that's running, we can actually get set up with all the autocomplete and instant search and recommend libraries as well. So to do that, go ahead and click sources. Go to search settings. And on this page, we have two sections, autocomplete and instant search. So that's the results page. And then the autocomplete is the search bar that we saw earlier. The first few questions are all just basic configuration questions, the source being the index that we set up just now. And then CSS selectors is a way for you to tell us where on your storefront page we should latch our search experience onto. So because our store is using the Cornerstone theme, we actually leave the default as quick search as well, and that would just work fine. If you're not using the Cornerstone theme or you've done some customizations to your front end, you might want to update this only if Algolia doesn't show up properly for you. And essentially, I'll show you how this is found. So if I go to our storefront and I click search here, and then I inspect this area where our search bar lives, I'll see that it actually has the ID of quick search. So if yours is a different one, take that and then plug it back in here and hit save. And then that way we will know where to place Algolia. Okay. Outside of those basic configs, we also have a few merchandising options that you can play around with, showing the number of products, hiding out of stock products. Um, a cool one that I want to call out specifically is around the CSS and JavaScript edit buttons. So we give you guys a lot of customization and flex with how you want to use autocomplete and instant search. We are, out of the box when you install the app, Algolia app, we already give a experience that you can probably just use. But if you want to customize how it behaves, how it looks according to your brand, the quickest way to do that is actually go in here and editing this. Anytime that we push any changes that change the appearance and the behavior, you'll see a tag right here that says new version available. You'll have an opportunity to review the changes that we're proposing and then accept it so that it doesn't accidentally override your changes. The reason why it's disabled right now is actually because we haven't enabled autocomplete or instant search on at the moment. So to do that, we actually need to do our first initial save by clicking this. And then this toggle, we'll flip it on, and then we'll apply autocomplete to all of our themes in this channel. And now we have to do that for instant search as well. So same thing, basic configuration, first few questions, tell us where you want instant search to be. And then we offer a variety of merchandising options that you can pick from. Here you can also add, remove, edit your sorts and your facets as well. And then just like the other one, if you want to edit the appearance or the behavior, you're free to do so with CSS and JavaScript editing. All right, so we'll do our initial save of this as well so that we can turn it on. Cool. So essentially with just a few clicks like that, your storefront, once the indexing is all done, now powers the same search and results page that we saw with our completed demo from earlier. Just while we're still indexing our records, just a couple other things I want to show you is our insights and recommend. So with Algolia's BigCommerce connector and a lot of our other connectors as well, including Shopify, we take care of all of this for you out of the box. So if you want to implement insights to start collecting event data on, for example, views and clicks and purchases so that you can fine tune your search and then also unlock other features like recommend, we make it really easy to do so. So go into the insights tab, click analytics will be on by default, and then you'll want to use user tokens, this option here. And what that will allow you to do is actually power your personalization features. But in order to do that, you have to actually use the BigCommerce cookie consent tracking. So what that is when your customers go onto your page, your storefront, they'll see a banner that asks them if they'll be okay with you tracking their cookies, essentially. So to do that, just click this hyperlink that we provided here, go down to security, and then make sure this box is checked and hit save. Okay. And then what you can also do is start collecting conversion analytics. So add to cart events, order purchased events, hit save on that. And that's it. Your analytics are set up. I always recommend to do this as early as possible, because even if you don't need a lot of the benefits and the features that come with event tracking now, you don't want to wait until you do and then have to turn this on and wait for enough events to accumulate before you can use the things that you're looking for. So it's better off to just set it and forget it and then come back to it later. And the last piece that I want to introduce is our latest feature, recommend on BigCommerce. So to use this, it's actually extremely easy. The first step is go to your Algolia recommend by clicking this tab here, and then just making sure that whichever model you want to use, you train it first. So for this demo, let's train our trending items model. So to train my trending items model, I'll have to use a CSV import just so I can get started quickly without having to wait for enough events to organically accumulate as people visit my website. So the first thing I want to do is for the index, I'll just use the one that we just created called BigCommerce. And then from there, I'll upload a CSV of all my events. Okay, import. And I'll just leave everything else as is and click start training. Great. So once the model is trained on the CSV I just imported, the page will look like this, and then we can actually navigate back to the BigCommerce admin. From here, we'll have to confirm that this is the index that we want to use to power our recommend model. So we'll hit save and apply. Awesome. So very last step before we go preview our entire search experience is let's actually add the recommend carousel to our page by clicking on theme editor. So once you're on the theme builder, the first thing that you want to do is find our recommend widget on the bottom left here. Just scroll down and let's say you want to add it here. Go ahead and drag and drop it there. See, and then you'll see it pop up as trending items. And as simple as that, all you have to do is click publish. And you're done. That's all it takes. And the next time you want to edit it, just go in and click it. We, again, expose a lot of information here that you can edit to make it match how your company wants to operate as well. So I'll go ahead and close the theme builder and then navigate back into our BigCommerce admin. Let's check in on our indexing process to see if it's all done. Okay, so it is finished. And with that, I think we are all set. Let's go test it out. Okay, so this is our demo store. Again, recall this is the one that didn't have anything set up on it earlier. If we scroll down, we do see trending items powered by Algolia's recommend model here. And then if we click search, let's again look for Caddy, and you see the results pop up right away. That's by Algolia's autocomplete library. Hitting enter, same experience as what we saw with the completed demo earlier, where we have all the facets and filters ready to use with our instant search library powering our results page. Thanks everyone for listening in on our demo today of our BigCommerce app. If you want to learn more and see all of our other integrations that we have to offer, including the other one that my team supports for Shopify that works very similarly to this, please visit Algolia's e-commerce integrations page. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Peter. That was so smooth an integration. I've never used BigCommerce myself, but it made me want to try it, how easy it was to install it and configure it. Thank you so much for the presentation. We had a few questions in the Q&A, and you already answered one of them, but just for the sake of everyone knowing the answer, the question was, when you mentioned the project description size, did we consider truncating the description instead of just ditching it? And you said that there is a limit on the record size inside of Algolia at 10 kilobytes. So we could truncate stuff or we could remove things, but the whole JSON needs to be under 10 kilobytes. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so chunk creating is something that we can definitely look into. I was pinging back and forth with my team on the side, and we all think it's a good idea to look into.
And the other question is about measuring performance KPI of search. How difficult is it to separate autocomplete versus instant search?
That one I'm not too sure about. I need to do some more digging into that, but I think it should be because they send their own events for views and clicks. So gotta double check on that.
I guess it can be even more confusing if you're doing something like Klaus showed earlier, where his autocomplete is actually an instant search full page.
Mm-hmm.
So that might depend on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
You briefly mentioned the Shopify integration. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences between the Shopify and BigCommerce?
Yep. So our Shopify integration actually works very similarly to our BigCommerce integration as well. It has, in many ways, it's further along, and in some ways, it's a little behind BigCommerce. So in terms of how it's further along, we have Shopify is a very robust system. It advances really quickly. It comes out with features often sooner than BigCommerce as well. So with our Shopify integration, we have support for things like Shopify's features to sell internationally, localized. So that's things like having different pricing lists, pricing availability in different countries as well. I think that's something that just came out on BigCommerce not too long ago. So Shopify, we have that. Another nice thing about our Shopify integration, again, we still support autocomplete, instant search, powering your PLP pages as well. But we've also adapted to Shopify's the app blocks functionality on there. So a lot of what you saw earlier with BigCommerce, where you have to go in and tell us where to place your search using the CSS selectors, you can actually do that within Shopify very easily using their app. Also, you can say drag and drop everywhere. So like what you saw in BigCommerce's recommend, you can do that across the board with Shopify. One gap so far with our Shopify integration is that we don't yet have out-of-the-box support for recommend, but that's coming very soon as well. So once that's available, you'll have all the same functionality. Again, drag and drop.
Speaking of recommend and events, during your demo, at some point you uploaded a CSV file of events. Can you tell us a little bit more about where did you get that file from and what's the format expected?
Yeah, so we actually, on our recommend docs, we provide like the structure of the CSV. So you need things, I think it's the user token ID, what kind of product was viewed or purchased, and then the event type on there. So I think those are the three main pieces that you need. If you already have analytics set up somewhere else, it should be quite easy for you to export and then generate that list and import it.
Okay, all good. Thank you so much, Peter. We have to cut short, unfortunately, the questions live because we're nearing the end of the presentation, but you will still be in the chat. There's a few answer question in Q&A, and we'll keep chatting there once the actual live presentation are done. Thank you so much, Peter. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.